This is Kat Stultz from rockingyourpath.com with another episode of Fast Action Fridays. Today, my special guest is Karen Stultz, whose name is very similar to mine, Sturtz, but we are not related and it's not spelled the same. And we've been online friends for so long that I don't think either of us remember how we met. Is that right?
Well, I remember.
You do remember.
I saw your name and I said, that's too close to mine. We got to meet. You know, the KS. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And
well, I'm so glad you reached out when you did. And Karen is a coach, a mindset and motivation coach, which everybody who follows me knows is near and dear to my heart as well. Karen, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, I appreciate the fact that you called me a coach because I am certified in umpteen gazillion coaching modalities, too long to mention. And what I realized when I started my coaching training, which I love, was that I'm not a coach. I'm a mentor because I need mentoring. And I think the people I work with really do need that mentoring as well. How to create a new mindset, how to move ahead. And so through the years, I struggled and had issues and actually making money at this business, right? And lo and behold, through gathering great friends like Kat and other people in this community, in the Rocking Your Path community, and around and about, I finally redid myself. I found that I had a mindset block and I needed to remove those blocks. So I gathered lots of information and finally removed the blocks. And now I help others remove those blocks so they can move forward with joy and freedom, financial freedom. Bottom line, it's focus, it's fun, and it's financial freedom. That's what most of my clients are looking for.
Right. And it can happen to all of us. You can be making a ton of money one day and the next week, suddenly there's something in our way. And if you can't identify it and what you're trying to correct doesn't correct the situation, you have to look elsewhere, which leads us to today's topic, how to get to a fresh or new perspective on things, right? What are some of your tips? How do we start looking at things from a new or different perspective when our current one's not moving us forward?
Thanks for asking that, because it is. One of my mantras is truth is perspective. So change your perspective, change your truth. Don't make it hard and fast. And allow that. The more information we can get, the more knowledge we can find, our whole way of thinking changes. Yeah. And I know you have grown. That's how we grow. We learn, we grow, and we make a difference. And it all starts with discussions with people and asking, what if? What if? And that has really become one of my mantras. What are the other possibilities? I personally don't enjoy stress. I don't think most people enjoy negative stress. It's hard on the body. It's hard on your life. And so rather than saying this is hard and fast, this is the way it is, that's it, there's nothing more, this is horrible, change the perspective. It's not serving you. Mm-hmm. And what are the other possibilities? And there are always at least 3 possibilities. Sometimes none of them are any good, but there are always at least 3 possibilities to any situation.
Well, and a different perspective opens up different avenues for solutions.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're so focused that this is the issue, because that's my specialty, is helping people understand what the underlying problem is. Let's like, okay, you've described what's not working, what the results you're not getting that you want. Let's look at where the problem actually is. What do you think is the problem? Okay, describe that, and let's look at other possibilities of what that problem is. And that's where you also work with, because that takes a new perspective. You have to take a step off the path you're on to the sidelines and say, okay, what other way is there to go? What do I see if I look east or west or north or south or below me or above me or inside me, right?
And in truth, the mindset, it all comes from inside, doesn't it, Kat? It all comes from inside. And
the perspective does, absolutely.
And that can change with the choice. Choice is another big thing to recognize. We all have a choice. And we have a choice to stay in that miserable little place, or we have a choice to look at something different. What would we like instead? But giving ourselves permission to do that is also very important, because we have that downtime. And I can't tell you how many times I've said, I am miserable. I am ugly. I don't want to go up to my office. I don't want to work. I don't want to see people. And that's not the way to build a business. And dang it. Okay, so let's look at this, and which feels, I do heavy and light, which feels heavier. Sitting here on the couch, eating bonbons, or going upstairs and reaching out to people. Well, right at this moment in time, and always recognize we always have another moment to change that. But at this moment in time, sitting on the couch and eating bonbons is exactly what is lighter for me to do right now. And also with the new perspective that if I tried and I pushed and I went, I have to go up to my office. I have to reach out to people. I have to do this. It's going to be miserable. It's going to be, whatever you do is going to be miserable. You're going to have technical difficulties. You're going to have communication difficulties. And that's okay. Just recognize that. So, all right, 15 minutes goes by. And all right, now I'm ready to leave my couch and my bonbons and go up and see people and feel more like who I truly am.
Right. Just because we had a moment in one speck of time doesn't mean we have to live that moment forever.
Exactly.
I can hear, because we're both very intuitive, I can hear people watching or listening to this saying, how is my perspective all inside me? I've heard all of this stuff by other people that colors my perspective. Yes, it colors your perspective, but you're still responsible for the perspective you tie into yourself, right? So what do we do about that issue where so much of our perspective is colored by outside influences, perhaps our childhood, our work environment, our home environment currently, our past experiences? Can you address that a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is that the perspective that we have often does, as you say, it comes from our childhood. It comes from other people's information. And as most of our listeners do recognize, from birth until 6 years old, we're just sponges taking in all of these things. And we're adding our own factuality to it that are not facts. And being able to now make the choice, this is not serving me anymore. This is not helping me anymore. So how can I look at this differently? Let's look at the facts. What are the facts that you truly know as absolute truths? Absolute, no question. You can look it up. You can chalk it off. You can say the world is flat. It's an absolute flat fact, right? No, if you start looking and researching, you find out that was disproven years ago, right? So it's making the choice of saying, all right, I'm not feeling good with this. What do I need to know? What are the choices I need to make so that I can feel good?
Right.
Because it's all about feeling good. And that's where it's inside of you. It is always inside. We are the only ones that we have control over. And our energy, you're talking about the energy around, our energy goes out into the world. Whether I'm sitting here talking to you on the internet or I'm writing something in my little office, that energy is going out into the world. Right. And it is affecting. So wouldn't it be nicer to have positive energy going out, making a difference, feeling better?
I love what you said earlier while we're talking about all of this positive energy, because neither one of us is denying that bad things happen.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
We have to but we have to take responsibility for our choices in how we view that perspective we take to that, our choices we make moving through it and beyond. So this is not to say you can't recognize the negative that's out there or the negative that hits us from time to time. But I loved how you said you look at it for what it is and then change that perspective. How do I want to move forward? What view of this, what perspective of this will help me move forward in a more productive way? My words that time.
and indeed, oftentimes perspective comes from the way we're feeling, and that's always inside of us, and we can choose to change that. I know a lot of people say, no, I can't change the way I'm feeling. This is happening. This is absolute truth. And
I'm still married to that bum, or my parents
they
don't support
understand
me, or, the outside, you cannot change the outside world. You can only change the inside. So, yeah, I also want to go deeper into this perspective thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you pointed out that stuck. I deal with people who are ready to move past stuck, stumped, or stalled. And you and I talked about this briefly before we started recording today, that what you think is the problem, if any solutions that you're applying to remove that block that's happening to you right now, if that's not working, then what you're identifying as the problem likely isn't the real problem.
That's absolutely.
And the only way to identify what could actually be the problem is with that different perspective, stepping to the side, back, whatever you need to do, even if it's I love the ridiculous. I love the brainstorming, the ridiculous reasons for why I'm blocked or not productive in a certain way. It's like, let's get really wacky, the dog ate my homework sort of thing.
Yeah.
What are some other tips or techniques that you use with your clients?
So we do with many of my clients, we do a visionary process of actually stepping away and say it's an angry, somebody doesn't like me, somebody doesn't understand me, somebody is trying to sabotage me. This is not helpful to you in any way. So if you can't eliminate that person from your world, it's time to forgive. And forgive does not mean condone, but it's to create more understanding.
We forgive for ourselves, the benefit it gives us.
Exactly. And if it's eating us up inside, it isn't bothering the other person at all. But to be able to get a perspective of where they're coming from, actually allows you to forgive more and make your life better and let it go a whole lot easier. So we do a visualization, and probably you've heard of this technique before, where you imagine yourself. I think in some of the shamanic truth circles, you have your little feather that you hold, and nobody can speak until you finish. Mm-hmm. So you're sitting there and you are speaking to this person that you're imagining on the other side of the table from you. And you say everything, all of the blickety blank and blah, blah, blah. And you did this and you did that and you did the other thing. And then once it's all out, take a deep breath, relax, feel good. You finally got it out. But there's still this negative energy around you, right? And you don't want it to come back in. So allow the other person to speak. What are the other possibilities? What else could be going on in their lives? What would they say? And it could be, well, I simply don't like you and I don't like anything about you. Okay. Or it could be, I am so jealous of everything that you're doing because I want to do it and I can't have it. Mm-hmm. Or it could be, I stubbed my toe today and I took it out on you. What are the other possibilities?
I love that. Tell people about your free offer.
Oh, I would love to offer anybody who is feeling that stuckness, that is curious about what is the core reason that I am not reaching the goals that I want to reach. And especially as a money mindset mentor, I love working with money. I like money. Money is very helpful. And I love having a 6-figure money mindset lifestyle business. So with that, I offer the gift of clarity. And it is a visualization to go through that will allow you to actually see in a very safe, loving way, to see what comment might have been made. Who is looking at you? What is it, the feeling that you are feeling, and recognizing that that is probably the core, like you were saying before. We think we know what the problem is, but do we? What are the other possibilities?
Exactly.
And so this gets right to the core. And then we will talk about ways of releasing that. Again, I do not believe in hard. If it starts getting too hard, it's time to step away and do something else, or just sit on the couch and eat bonbons, whatever. But
little mini pity parties where you know that you'll be out of it. Those are a good thing. You know, you got to give yourself that relief sometimes.
So having that gift of clarity is a very powerful thing. And all of my techniques, I have the heart energy techniques, and they're numerous ways of releasing those feelings so that you can move ahead and enjoy and reach your goals more easily with a lot more confidence and clarity and freedom to enjoy it.
Exactly. Those watching this on YouTube or on the blog post or listening to the replay will find the link to get this gift of clarity session from Karen down in the description or below this video. Whoa. Karen, it's been a delight having you. I can't believe it's been, we've been friends this long and you've never been on the Fast Action Friday show before.
No. Well, it was all meant to be. It needed to be here because honestly, until I went through all of these processes and found myself and hired my own mentors,
yep. A good coach and mentor, I agree. A good coach and mentor values the process that we do pay for our own.
Exactly. And Kat, you are an amazing coach and mentor. I mean, you have helped me so dramatically through the years. So I could highly recommend Kat to anybody listening to this.
Well, thank you very much. And on that note, I'm going to close this episode of Fast Action Fridays. Join me next time when I have another great guest. Bye-bye.